Hello and welcome to the next in our ongoing review of the ToyWorld dinosaur robots. This one is Spear. Obviously it's meant to be the Dinobot Swoop. So the other Dinobots, or the other ToyWorld robots, have all had puns based on the original name. Swoop does not. He's called Spear. Swoop and Spear don't obviously go together at all. Originally this was to be released as Dart. Dart, swoop, you swoop to something, you dart towards something. I suppose if you have a dart is similar to a spear, but if you didn't know it was going to be toward dart, swoop and spear have, aside from both beginning with S, have no correlation at all. Never mind, this is the blue version of Spear or Swoop. He does come in a red version as well, and it's fairly common with the packaging. You've got some nice artwork on the side here, then a full-blown artwork on the side here too. The front robot and pterodactyl mode, which look good, and then a rear view of them posing as well, which again is quite useful when you're looking at transformations. So we open up the box. Inside you get some nice instructions as well, another nice little card with the intelligence standard, and also you have on here, just see it there, a nice sticker as well. All in all, fairly standard stuff, but it's quite nice and it's very well presented. On with the packaging. So embossed within the ToyWorld logo is some polystyrene, which I just jiggle it, it comes out with one of the wings of course, pop that back in, and the contents. You have Swoop in pterodactyl mode, a couple of swords, a couple of weapons, and of course the wings. So this one comes in several pieces naturally because wings were never going to fit in a box this small. It's the same size as the other boxes, and Swoop's wings are considerably larger than the others, so it comes in pieces. So this is the basic Swoop toy. There, you then get one wing and another wing, one sword, another sword, then a laser, and another laser. So, pretty decent selection of weapons. Some assembly required now. So just stand him up in bird mode. You can obviously put these down if you wish, depending on how he's flying. The beak itself is perhaps one of the weak points of this, because while the beak does move down, some nice serrated teeth on there, the way it's held on with this bit here is a bit flimsy, and it tends to move and obviously breaks apart a bit like that as well. So that's perhaps the weak point of it, but otherwise it's quite good. Wings. Okay, so to extend the wings fully, they just flop. This bit flips out like that. Then the whole wing mass extends out like that, flips around, the whole wing mass flips around. There is here a little chrome point which then goes into a chrome hole here, so you can attach the wings together like so. You are then left with this peg here, which will actually peg into, you probably can't really see it, there is a little cap to put it in. So you kind of have to have this like that in its smallest possible setting to slot it in. It's quite tricky. You really need to just move that out of the way first, and move this one out of the way too, so we'll just do that first I think. So, now we've done that. To help, of course, we put the wing in the right one. It goes in this side. That wing is now in place. You can see like that. So it's going to be the same thing on this side. Out, rotate up, out, rotate down. Swing that around so it fits in there. And now we make sure that we put it in the right way round. Making sure that this is straight. That goes down like that. That then slots in there. Will do. There we go. Now we rotate these back up. Rotate this one back up as well. You know when you're in the right spot because you've got two little parts here which line up together and just hold it in place. Like so. heads move down, up. We're still not there yet. This is still getting him into pterodactyl mode after we've taken him out of his case. So the swords, there's a tiny little hole here and again on the other side, and we just put the swords in like so, and again on this side like so. And then the guns themselves, or the not really guns, I suppose they're bomb missiles. I have a nasty feeling I put the wings on the wrong way round. I have. Drat. Because they're meant to be the other way round, because the guns are meant to go on here. I had a sudden feeling when we looked at them. I'm not going to move them around again, but for the purposes of this video, let's assume they're the right way round. Easily done. Okay, so there we are. If we can just get him to stand up, of course it's very, very lopsided with the distribution of the wings. I might have to hold him. There we are, Swoop, by far one of the largest Transformers or robots, just in terms of wingspan as well. The wings themselves, very nice chrome as well. I know they were in the original, but again, it's really nice to see it, and they really do highlight reflection very well. You've then got the gold chrome on the face, which looks great, and the gold chrome on the legs as well. The actual toy itself, you know, it benefits. It's quite boxy. If you look at it from this point of view here, it's extremely boxy with hard edges. Well, it's basically a box shape as well. And the way these work here, you have to really, Swoop's head works best pointed down. It doesn't really work any other direction by virtue of this connecting point here. That said, you would most commonly see him kind of in dive mode, hence the head pointed down. It does rest, I guess, if you literally point it right to the ground there. So yes, that's pterodactyl mode. It's good. It's not the best of the Dinobot modes, I have to say, but I am impressed with the wingspan. I think that works particularly well, that they've made it as large as it is, and the fact that they're chromed just looks great as well. Okay, let's take these guns off. Take the swords off. Right, so put them in robot mode. So what we're going to begin with is the feet here. So I'm not too fussed about popping these out of the way, just too much. Just put them out like that, so they're out that side there. This bit here pops apart, and this bit here also pops apart. You then rotate all the way down. Now you see here the leg actually splits in two and then goes in like that. On this side you've got a little joint, so this springs up and then this joint here clips in place like that to stop the leg from breaking apart. Unusual way of doing that. I have to say I quite like it because it means you've got extra rotation here to move it up into the Dinobot or into the bird mode, and then just this little plastic piece here just means that you've got a sturdy leg afterwards, so you're not spending the rest of the time worrying if it's going to disconnect. This comes all the way down like so, and then that just clips like that, clips in like that. Probably put the other one down first. There we go. This part, with some judicious movement around, will become the foot. I say some judicious movement around because it's not sometimes the easiest thing to get in alignment. What you need to do, again, if you can see, you've got a little slot there, and the little slot to put it in is actually here. So it is quite a tight slot, which is quite handy because it really does help when it comes to figuring out how to put this in. So there we are, slots like that. This then rotates round. Goes up, and that is his foot. This bit is just ornamentation. So you just pop it down like that, and then up like so, out of the way. Do the same on the other side now. This comes down, all the way down, flip this up, the little latch into place. This now is up like that. So we start by putting the one with the sticky out bit down first. Then that. The easiest way to do this is to flip this out, rotate it now so it's the right way, and then it just slots in. It's actually, as with origami and all these puzzles, It's ridiculously simple once you realise what you have to do, but flipping difficult while you're doing it. Okay, so these are then like that. The legs then don't rotate. The waist doesn't rotate, rather. You want the silver bits here, but the legs themselves will then rotate. And again, so that you have everything facing front. Okay, how are we doing? We're not there yet. We've got the front to do. You've got missile banks here, which are quite a nice touch. Now these actually are hidden in robot mode, but they can fire or lift up to fire. The reason they're hidden in robot mode actually has a good practical point as well, because you've got a rather strange joint with the arms. So we'll start by just unclipping the arm. You see this? You probably don't. Here we are. Get a bit. Right, this very tricky joint, because it goes like that. Lift it up, and then you have to move the whole joint down like so, and then it just slots in like that. It's a weird joint. I've not really seen it much used before. So up like that, you then rotate the whole joint around, and then the arm slots down like that. So it's a bit of a bizarre joint. I've not really encountered it before. Hands, usual arrangement. That goes down, hands pop up. And again here, that pops down. At least this one they've given you, so I'll just put it back again, they've given you a nice little part here, just to get hold of, so you can flip the hand like that to help with pulling it out. Okay, we're about there. Now you could stand him up with the wings like so if you wished. It's quite an imposing form like that, but that's not the classic swoop pose, but you could do it that way if you wished. I don't know if we'll be able to do classic swoop pose because the wings are technically on back to front, but we'll give it a shot. Yes, we are. So you actually unhook these. This thing goes down like that. Just goes back like that. Simple. Same on this side. This pops up, goes right the way over, and that just folds down like that to give you classic swoop wings. He looks great, doesn't he? Of course, he's still got all these weapons to put on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the guns on the back. So you've got nice little slots here for them. Kind of a bit like, let's make it look a bit like old Onslaught did, or does. And I'm going to give him his swords to hold, so the swords just go in there. Swoop, it has to be said, is one of the few characters who has significantly more weapons than he has hands. Being that he's got 4 weapons but only 2 hands, I guess it makes him in many respects, perhaps one of the more deadly Dinobots. And there we are, Dinobot Swoop in robot mode. It's pretty decent robot mode if we just do some zooming in. Again, this one is predominated with blue. If you go for the red Dinobot, then you have these parts here become red. Kind of just a reverse colour scheme in that respect. You probably couldn't see that. It's these bits that become red. It's a reverse colour scheme. But yeah, I like how you've now kind of got a chrome red effect around his face, with the large beak hanging down. You've then got the chrome wings with the matte blue and the kind of matte grey. Well, it's not really matte grey, it's more of a dull plastic style grey, possibly because it's made of plastic. But yeah, it looks good. You've got the full posability that you would expect from a Masterpiece style figure in terms of knees, quite a strong ratchet on there, arms, movement there. The hands do rotate. They don't do much more than open and close, but they do rotate, which is good. The head has some limited up and down and sideways movement, but because of this bit here, everything kind of gets in the way, which is a little bit of a shame. And as noted before, the chest panel here does actually lift up to reveal the missiles beneath. Great toy. Now, compared to some other flyers from G1, well, not just from G1, so this is Astrotrain. It's a commemorative version of Astrotrain. Astrotrain was always small, but he looks positively ridiculous against Swoop. I know the legs on Astrotrain have a tendency to flop in rather than stay out, but believe me, it makes next to no difference at all. Even Classics Universe Starscream here, which is, one of the great models, I personally feel, is significantly shorter than Swoop. As a masterpiece size, it really does work well. Just straighten up this wing here. It really does work well, and it looks great. Perhaps the only letdowns are slightly complicated transformations. If you enjoy moving pieces around until they're exactly right, you will love this. But if you remember when I reviewed Astro Train or Evinstar, I did not enjoy that transformation one bit. Swoop's not as bad as that, but it's getting that way. It is unnecessarily complicated. Bit blocky in the pterodactyl mode, but the robot mode looks fantastic. And to be fair to the pterodactyl mode, if you're looking down at it or side on or front on, it looks great. So there's always going to be some compromise. It's one I can live with. I still don't think he's the best of the ToyWorld Dinobot style Transformers or robots, but I definitely think it's a very good edition of Swoop. And let's not forget, Swoop in his G1 mode never was released in the UK, so you had to import it. So it's nice that this guy is available. And as I say, it adds well to the collection. Not the best, but it still is a really good model and definitely worth picking up. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next review. Goodbye.